Southern California from the final. Mike Machuga, Brian Voss. Machuga goes for his first ever career title against his idol, Hall of Famer BB. Tonight, ESPN's double coverage weekend. NFL football continues, 8:30 Eastern time. Peyton Manning looks to eclipse Dan Marino's record of 48 TD passes in a season against the Ravens, who last week shut down his brother Eli. The Ravens have allowed 10 TD passes all year long. Good matchup. Sunday Night Football, Colts and Ravens, also available on high-definition TV on ESPN HD. As Brian Voss prepares to go for his 23rd career title in a few minutes, we get to know more about what the Hall of Famer is like off the lanes. It's all part of this week's Miller Six-Pack.
Growing up, did you have any imaginary friends?
Well, she wasn't imaginary, but I loved to see Raquel Welch in a bathing suit. And watching her on TV, she kind of was imaginary, but that was, yeah, Raquel Welch.
Nice, big Raquel fan. I like it. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done?
Dumbest thing I've ever done is to smoke that first stupid cigarette. I still battle it once in a while, but that was the stupidest thing I could ever do.
What's the one thing you do that takes your mind completely off of bowling?
Golf. I love golf. I took it up at a late age. I started when I was 23, but I'm a junkie now. That's all I do. I could be out on the practice range for 8 hours and think of nothing but how to hit that ball straight, left, right, up, down, the whole thing. I just love golf.
What is the most expensive item of clothing you've ever purchased for yourself?
I buy a lot of Zanella slacks. They retail for about $280 all the way up to $320. They're never on sale, and I still buy them.
Who did you want to be when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, my first love was baseball. And I lived in Alaska at the time, and I was a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, and Willie Stargell was a big star back then. He kind of stands out as somebody that I wanted to be like. Willie Stargell. I still remember that little swing that he had. Willie Stargell.
Nice. What is the one weird or exotic animal you would love to have as a pet?
It would have to be a monkey, because I eat bananas every morning. They look like they have a heck of a lot of fun, and there's a lot of monkeys. They mate.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We're not monkeying around on the road here, Brian Voss. The Geico Open begins the second half of our season in suburban Phoenix. Check out on PBA.com Pro-Am site Saturday, January 8th. And we continue on the road. El Paso, Dallas, and suburban Birmingham, Alabama for the Birmingham Open, beginning our second half of the season. Can't wait as we get all the way through to the second major of our season, 62nd U.S. Open. Cambridge Credit Classic on the island. Baby Ruth Wheeler Classic in Indianapolis. The Banquet Open Grand Rapids, where Eugene McCune won a couple years ago. And then we wrap up with back-to-back majors. Different format this year, all culminating with the next Tournament of Champions in Uncasville, Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun. Mike Machuga bids for history in Southern California when we return against Voss. The bracket as we stand here, the PBA Orange County Classic presented by Storm Fountain Valley, California. Brian Voss, the Hall of Famer. Mike Machuga from Erie, Pennsylvania, bids for his first ever PBA Tour title. Time now for the Geico Direct Championship recap with Randy.
Thanks, Dave. Earlier in match number one, it was Mike Machuga defeating Chris Barnes by the score of 244-224. Machuga waiting to exhale. He wants BV.
I want you, BV. I want you, BV.
Then in match number two was Voss defeating Eugene McCune by the score of 235-151. McCune never got on track. Voss to the finals. Machuga gets exactly what he wants, setting up for a great championship match.
These two almost came to blows a minute ago. Seriously, Brian Voss, Mike Machuga is somebody you know so well, and I know you bought dinner last night because this is your third TV show of the season. What's it like competing against such a good friend?
It's a lot of fun. You know, he knows what's on the line. He's a student of the game, as I am. He's got great mechanics. He's learned some things from me. I've learned some things from him. But I don't think he knows I put in a little subliminal message during all those sessions, and we'll see what happens here.
We'll find out if that helps you. Bidding for his 23rd career title. Good luck to Brian Voss. Now, Mike Machuga, you're bowling against one of your idols, one of your heroes growing up in Pennsylvania. A chance for your first title against a Hall of Famer. What's that like?
Well, to be honest with you, Dave, I think I'm more relaxed now bowling him than I would have anybody else. We're good friends. Spent a lot of time together out here, and I'm sure this will be a nice discussion over the golf course sometime.
Who buys the next meal if you win? Is it you?
Oh, the loser's got to buy.
All right. Good luck to each. Voss and Machuga ready.
Back in the day, the winner used to have to buy keys for victory. Mike Machuga, we've got to watch his push away. He's got to keep his eyes on his target, keep his head down. Brian Voss needs to regulate his intensity. Don't hoop it up too early and get spent. And keep his ball speed up. Well, that's if he was going to play straight. We're going to change it to he's got to get the weak 10 out. The last 2 times in the title match, not only did he lose his ball reaction, but he had trouble getting the weak 10 out.
Mike Machuga starts our championship match. 10-pin.
Wow. What a great shot to start the title match. Machuga looking for his first title ever. And that ball reaction looked pretty good, didn't it, Dave?
Liked it off his hand. Good looking shot. 10-pin for him. See the single pin numbers, trying to up that stat. Takes care of that for a spare. Machuga grew up here in Pennsylvania, a pin chaser at his grandparents' bowling center. Now one of his idols, Brian Voss, stands in the way of Machuga's first ever title. What a storyline. And there's more. Voss gets started with a strike. Leading us to the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup, Machuga Voss, Randy.
And all the numbers point to Brian Voss for victory. But I'll tell you what, I think Mike Machuga is going to give Brian all he wants. And if this comes down to a carry contest, advantage Mike Machuga because he has a higher rev rate.
What happens if Mike Machuga wins? Guess what, folks? Not only his first ever title, a chance to knock out his all-time great hero, but he can KO Brian Voss from the Tournament of Champions field in April. 10-pin for Voss, who would not want to see that happen.
This ball is actually going to roll out, meaning it's going to start going left right about there, and then it's going to stop right before it gets to the head pin. Balls roll out when, Dave, balls roll out when there's too much friction being created too early. They lose energy, and then they stop going in the direction of rotation.
Single pin numbers, we saw those. They are up by Brian Voss. He's really had a great season, second in points behind Danny Wiseman. Heading into our TV show today, Chris Barnes was third. Voss 7th in earnings, 9th in average through the round of 8. A solid year, but as he told us clearly, I want to win some tournaments. Now's his chance against his good buddy, Mike Machuga. 10 down on the pick for him. Later today, PGA Tour stars John Daly, Fred Couples, and Jay Haas take on teams from the LPGA and Champions Tours in a one-of-a-kind golf event. Don't miss the final holes of the Wendy's 3-Tour Challenge today, 4 Eastern on ABC Sports. Pretty nice golf weather here, my friend, in Southern California.
Beautiful weather here. Unfortunately,
70 and sunny.
Unfortunately, you can't afford to live here. Okay, I'll take that little house there. That'll be $1.5 million, please. Thank you.
Machuga has to hurry. Avoided the 7-10. Luckily for him, just the 7 stands.
You see what I'm talking about when I talk about Mike Machuga's rev rate? Watch how he gets the pins to just scatter. Now, sometimes that's really good, and sometimes that's really bad. I think the deeper inside that you play, it's a bigger advantage.
David Osborne, Gary Foreman, special thanks. Co-proprietors here at Fountain Bowl. They have hosted a PBA event here 4 straight years. The last 3 years had been the U.S. Open, one of our 4 majors. Last year's exciting event, won at the Anaheim Convention Center by Pete Weber over this guy, Brian Voss, in the final. What an event that was. Huge crowd. And our house band going. PB, way high through the nose. Almost crossed over earlier in the day, had a Brooklyn strike.
Ball never gets far enough to the right. Starts to grab right about there. You see it rolling over that target that we illustrated when we showed you the oil pattern. Brian Voss needs to move in. I think he needs to firm up a little bit, Dave.
That lane's got a little hook on it.
Firm up his speed a little bit and move in a pinch on that right lane. You heard him say it himself, too slow.
Victory here in Orange County would make him 8th all-time PBA Tour history in tour wins with 23. He's tied now with Marshall Holman. 22 apiece. Couple Hall of Famers. We get to the PBA Hall of Fame with great shots like that. Flush strike for Voss. The final continues next. Chris Barnes with his 5 titles. McCune has his 1 championship. Mike Machuga still is looking for that first ever PBA Tour title. Leading us to the Unroll Tire Rock and Roll.
Thank you. Take a look at this shot. Mike Machuga putting the good stuff on it. Blocks the head pin. Get out of there. How about some love? Awesome, wicked pin carry for Mike Chug Machuga.
Machuga works on a spare here for Ring.
Wow.
Again, help avoiding the 7-10 the second time it's happened in this game for Mike Machuga.
Here comes a head pin, just a pinch in front. And that is a big break on a great shot. He almost got 8.
Best event so far of the year for Mike Machuga. His prior high finished 13th in St. Louis, also 16th in Medford last week. There's the 7-pin. He tries to get that first ever title. Mike's life has changed. He told us last night how things have settled. We mentioned he's living now in Owensboro, Kentucky. His girlfriend Leanne Music and her daughter Jada is 2.5 years old. There's Leanne from Kentucky. Mike says she's made a dramatic difference in his life. Helped him grow up, changed a lot of things that he had going, and feels so much better about his maturity.
Yeah, I think it's showing in his performance on the lanes. And right now, he looks puzzled. Take a look at his eyes right at the foul line. Looks at his target, and then right as he releases it, his eyes go straight to the floor. Another bowler that does that out here, Brian Himmler.
Good look at it. And a little hook on the spare ball as he takes out the 3-pin. Our great crew. And by our producer Mike Roth, director Scott Katz, showing exactly how Machuga looked down. That quick glance upon release. Voss works on a strike. 5th frame. Things are all even, folks. Tight match between legend and the up-and-comer Machuga, trying to win his first ever title. Yeah! Touch high off his hand, but finds the pocket perfectly. A double for him and a 10-pin lead.
Big-time players come through in big-time moments. He was working on a strike. That to take a 10-pin lead. He went high the last time on that lane, makes the proper adjustment, and pures it.
This is the guy who is 4th place all-time PBA money list. More than $2.1 million. Been in big moments and won some huge tournaments. Yeah! And he knows about big shots. Another strike, turkey ball for Voss. He strikes in frames 3 through 6. And he can surpass Danny Wiseman on the march to the PBA World Championship points list with the victory here today. Chris Barnes was 3rd heading in. Dr. Ray Williams Jr. still looking for that record tire, 41st career title, trying to catch Earl Anthony's all-time mark. He's been on 3 shows, 1 win. Machuga wants that 1 win as well. 10-pin.
Wow. All I can say is wow. I mean, Mike Machuga has thrown 5 great shots. He struck once, and it looked like the last frame on the left lane, he went high because he was trying to adjust for carry, meaning that he was throwing it good, ball's hitting the pocket, but it wasn't striking, so hey, let's make a move. Next thing you know, he loses his pocket. Goes back to where he was. Bingo, leaves another ring in 10.
One of the big themes on our show today has been versatility and adjustments on TV. We've had some first-time winners. Tommy Jones, who also won in Denver. A Japan Cup win did not count for exemption. The Denver Open did. Jason Hurd in Wichita, and Mike Wolf last week, one of the Tour trial qualifiers. First ever title in Medford. Maybe it's Machuga's turn. But Voss is working on 3 strikes. Machuga down 21. Late help.
Really?
Down goes number 10.
And Chugs is like, hey, where's that been? See how far he spreads that index finger out, gets some good rotation. And he goes, oh, really? Messenger? Moi?
Better late than never. Is that another accent? A little French.
I don't do French.
BV coming way high through the nose. Look out. And a 310 for Brian Voss.
Well, now Brian's looking at his target. This just looks like it's left the whole way. And not a very good shot. He's only made 1 split all week. But if you have to make a split championship match on television, the 310 would be the one I'd want to shoot at.
Takes care of it. Just his second split of this week. Nails a 310. Needed that one.
Well, the good news for Brian Voss is that he doesn't have to finish on the right lane. You hear him saying only one more time on that right lane. Right now, the focus is going to be on this next shot.
Right lane has been a trouble spot for him all day, as we talked about. Coming in high on a lot of shots. Big strike, Brian Voss. Peyton Manning has 46 touchdown passes, folks, tonight. Against the Baltimore Ravens, 2 more. He ties Dan Marino's all-time record. 48 TD passes, single season, set by the legendary Dan Marino back in 1984 with the Miami Dolphins. He has at least 3 touchdown passes in all 6 home games in Indy against Ray Lewis and the Ravens. Also available on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today for more. Machuga works on a strike. 8th frame.
There you go. This ball just faced up a little bit sooner down the lane and ended up going more flush in the 1-3. Watch this. Now, semi number 1, 7 out of 11. This match only 3 out of 8 strikes. However, he's only missed the pocket once. But now keep in mind, no matter what Mike Machuga does in the 8th and 9th frame, he's already struck in the 8th, no matter what he does in this frame, he cannot shut out Brian Voss.
So the great Brian Voss will have a chance in the end, folks. This is going to be a dramatic finish. Don't go anywhere. He's down 9 pins. Strike here. He's up 1. 9th frame. Didn't like it off his hand. Light. 1, 2, 10. Yikes.
This is just a terrible shot. Way, way, way right. Look at that. He got quick. He got fast. Lost it off his hand. The ball shot dead right.
2, 4, 10, excuse me on that.
Got to get the ball over here, have the ball slide, hit the 2 and slide it over into the 10. The ball will take out the 4 pin.
So late in the match. We're back to last season. We had a collapse against Steve Jarris. in Dallas. Was trying so desperately to avoid a moment just like that one here, and he leaves an open frame so late. Just a deadly spot in the ninth to have an open.
He was on a double, and he gets an open frame in the ninth, and he just hand-fed Brian Voss the title. Now Brian Voss doesn't even have to worry about this right lane.
Leanne Music, his girlfriend, knows exactly how frustrating that moment just was. And Voss was off the mark on that ball as well.
It's okay. All he needs is a mark here, a mark in the 10th frame, and this match is history.
He's got it. Yeah, 2-5 up for him. But able to play conservatively after Machuga's open. And it should be just fine.
Right.
No!
Look out.
Yes!
Wow. And make no mistake about it, Dave, if he would have struck there, the match is over no matter what he does in the 10th frame. That's why it was such a big frame. He wasn't like he was trying to play it safe. But this was almost disaster, because if he chops this spare here, Machuga still has room. Brian Voss gets 9 on this ball. This match is over.
All he needs to wrap up tour exemption. Needs 9 for a win. Yeah! How about 10?
Yeah!
A PBA Tour champion once again. Brian Voss, number 23 in his legendary Hall of Fame career, comes today. He is exempt for 0506.
Finally, 2 years for this.
2 years, the last time he won. Memphis, Tennessee, moves all the way to the top of the TOC list. Snares himself from the very verge of
2 years
losing
for this.
that TOC spot. He'll be there in April to wrap up our PBA Tour season. And makes a strong case with the third show.
Finally, again.
His first win for Player of the Year honors. That's what he wanted to return to. First half of the year, definitely an argument for Brian Voss as the most valuable player of our tour. More on the way.
We'll do it again, man.
At Geico, we're all about happy customers. In fact, our customer satisfaction
Trusted by American families since 1892. And by storm, the Bowlers Company.
We'll do it again, man. All right, we'll do it again. Yes, yes! 23! Been out here 23 years, that's 23. One every year.
Brian Voss, you told us when you made your first show of the year earlier this season in Chicago, you never get tired of the bright lights of winning a tournament. Does it still feel great?
I love winning. That's why I live. That's why I practice. That's why I dream. It's a wonderful feeling, and my buddy Mike will experience that. He's one of the really up-and-coming players, and I hope he wins next week.
3 shows, 1 win in the first half of the year. You told us you want to become Player of the Year again. Is this a good start for that?
Oh, this is a great start. You know, I want to set a record for the most years between Player of the Year, and I won that in '88, so this would be 17 years. But the second half, that's what it's all about. I hope the fans tune in about 3 weeks back to ESPN. I want to thank Storm for their support in these pro bowling events. I want to thank Fountain Bowl. You did a wonderful job here. I love these people. And first and a second here, I'll be back.
Congratulations to Brian Voss with a huge win today over his buddy Mike Machuga. He takes his 23rd career title today. Be sure to join us on Sunday, January 9th, 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN for the PBA Geico Open from just outside Phoenix, Arizona. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For my partner, Randy Peterson, our entire crew, it's Dave Ryan telling you, Jimmy the Celebrity Golf Classic coming up next. Have a great holiday season. See you in January.